Hey everyone, ready to find out what happens next? Let's get into it. Chapter 7 Angel. The next day, it was still raining. However, no bodyguard came to wake Ian up. Instead, it was Pegasus himself, and he seemed enraged. Ian, why did you leave in the middle of the night? Were you trying to find food? You ate last night, he exclaimed. The younger rider sat up in her bed and moved a stray strand of hair out of her face. No reason, she tiredly grumbled. Her business was hers, not his. Pegasus crossed his arms and pursed his lips. Well, wake up. You must write my biography's 8th, 9th, and 10th chapters. Chop now. We haven't got all day, he said as he exited, leaving the door ajar. Despite the anger that boiled in her blood for him to properly close the door, Ian kept it in as she sat unimpressed. After a minute, she got out of bed and went to brush her teeth, applying some cream to her face to calm the acne. In her closet, she chose something warm, a fluffy white coat over a white turtleneck with black pants and boots. What? Are you like this because Yugi and his friends are on their way to your castle? Ian asked, hands on her hips. Pegasus, about to enter the dining hall, turned to look at her. What do you think, little girl? Of course that's why. We haven't finished my biography, and yet Yogi Boy is on his way. We don't have much time. I want you to hurry and get into the dining room. We must continue our writing, he demanded. She furrowed her eyebrows when she heard him call her a little girl. She was 17, goddammit. When she got to the dining room, she was met with the sight of Pegasus being fed breakfast by his bodyguards. Sadly, she didn't want to seem like a little brat, so she refused to ask if she could have anything. She'd rather starve than be fed by wealthy folk like them. Ian sat in her usual spot, taking her book and pencil into her hands. She wrote the chapter name on the top margin and waited for Pegasus to start monologuing. While he spoke, the thought of last night came into her mind. She thought of Mako and his smile, the way he introduced himself. The Angelfish nickname he gave her would most likely stick with him, but it wouldn't stick with her. She forgot what he called her half the time. Maybe it was because she was supposed to be fully focused on her writing for Pegasus. Of course, those who knew Ian knew that she refused to listen to people that she hardly knew. However, even though she was writing all of Pegasus' personal information, plus the process of making dual monsters, she still refused to listen to him. He brought her here against her will. That same day, late at night, while the moon was high and covered by dark clouds, Ian quietly got out of bed and climbed out of her window, using the rocks on the wall to climb downward. When she got to the grassy terrain, she took off, running to the cliffside. where she saw a fish drawn in the rocks. A halo was drawn above it. That's when, boo! Mako jumped from behind her, giving her a warm embrace. Ian laughed and turned, returning the friendly hug. She pulled off the hug, looking at him. "You came back!" Mako exclaimed. "Of course I did. You know I hate staying inside a palace that has too many pictures of the same woman all over the walls. Her name is Cecilia, by the way, so this is my only chance to come out and be free," Ian replied. "Understood. So, what do you want to do? We can go fishing by the shore, even though it's raining still. Or we can... I brought my storybook, the one with waterproof pages. It's got waterproof ink, too." Mako stopped talking. She remembered he wanted to see some of her works. He eagerly nodded and sat down by the fish with the halo in the rocks, and Ian sat across from him. She took her book out of her pajama pocket and handed it to Mako, who gently took it, opening the book. "Whoa! A story about a princess rebelling against her royal family to become a pirate? Sounds interesting," he said. "I know, right? My brother and sister helped me create the main character," Ian responded. Mako sneered. "Will she be getting a crew for this adventure?" he questioned. "Yep." He nodded and flipped a few more pages to land on another story. This one's about two sisters entering an abandoned toy factory, only to find out that the creations have come to life and are plotting to murder them. "You write horror too?" he asked. "Not much, but a few stories have small elements of horror, like death, fear, and human experiments," Ian replied. He skimmed the first page, learning that the protagonist and her sister got in a car crash, which transported them to the front of an abandoned toy factory. He nodded and flipped to another story, reading the summary written under the title. "So let's see. This one's about a girl who lived her whole life chained to some traumatic events that the reader will learn about eventually. She goes on this quest to earn something that will give her access to something that will help her fight the evil that lurks in her past." "Do you know the girl's name?" Mako asked. "Nope." "Want me to help you come up with one?" "It's fine." "Are you sure? I'm good at coming up with names." "Really, it's fine." Both of them stayed silent before Ian asked why he drew a fish with a halo on top of it. "Oh, it's an angelfish. I have a hard time drawing the actual creature, so I drew what I knew. A fish with a halo," he replied. "Geez," she thought, "so that's what that drawing on the rock means." Ian then got an idea. She took a sharp stick and began jamming it into the stone below her, carving a picture beside the fish with the halo. Mako watched intently, confused as to what she was drawing. When she finished, Ian stepped back, wiping sweat and rain off of her forehead. "All done." She had drawn a fish with a sword. "A swordfish?" Mako asked, arching an eyebrow. But he was smiling. He seemed amused. Ian nodded and explained that, like his angelfish, it was a joke. She knew what a swordfish looked like, but she just wanted to horse around for the night. Oh, you're funny, Mako joked, nudging her. Ian giggled and nudged him in return. So, now that we have a little bit more time on our hands, can you tell me what life is like for you outside of, well, this? Now, this was, oh, sorry. So, now that we have a little bit more time on our hands, can you tell me what life is like for you outside of, well, this? Now, this was a better question. Ian nodded and explained that she was a student at the high school for all girls. She hardly had any male friends, minus Yugi Muro, and now him, and was usually asked if she had a boyfriend outside of school by her friends, including Hayami. Wow, your friends seem very lively if I do say so myself. I never had anyone like that. In the village I live in, we're all about catching fish. That's why you can always find me by the ocean, Mako responded. I figured. The two of them shared a small laugh as Ian continued to share highlights of her school life. Mako listened, taking in every bit of information and every story she told. Every word that came from her mouth, though her lips were slightly chapped, seemed like an intricate adventure. What would it be like if he were in her shoes? Not very fun at first. If he had to arrive for Pegasus, he might as well quit after writing the prologue or first chapter. After what seemed like 2 hours of chatting and storytelling, Ian stood. Well, it's been amazing coming out again to talk with you, Mako. But oh, wait a minute. But I think I need to get going, she said. Mako stood as well, putting a hand on her shoulder. Yup, I understand you have stuff to do that requires more time than other activities. I wish you luck in the writing, and I want you to remember this. If you ever need comfort or anything, you can always come visit me right here at night. Whether you're excited about something or angered about the dumbuses in the castle, I'll always be here. You got that? Yes. Chapter 8. Actions. The next day the sun was high. There were no clouds in the sky, unlike the previous few days. A letter from Yugi sat beside Ian's nightstand, saying that he and his friends had made it past the Paradox Brothers to duel for the castle entrance. He and his friends were making amazing progress. Ian couldn't help but smile at the mention of it. She'd never gotten that far, yet she wished for that chance. But now felt like a good time to call someone. Ian saw a phone on the wall, so she got out of bed, took it, and dialed Hayami's number. It rang for a few seconds before her voice could be heard. Hey Ian, how's the biography coming along? She felt relieved hearing Hayami. It's going well. We're almost done, Ian replied. Oh, yay! And soon you'll be back home. Now, why did you call me? I'm about to head to school. Ian balanced on her heels as she heard this. Hayami must have been eliminated from the tournament. She wanted to feel upset, but now wasn't the time. I made a new friend. His name is Mako. You mean the guy who ranked third in the Duel Monsters Championship? Ian, that's insane! Not as insane as you having to leave the island. Okay, we're stopping right there. But tell me, what's he like? Is he... Ian stopped her with a laugh. He's a cool guy. He's very passionate about the ocean, and I can respect that. I showed him my works last night, and he was beyond amazed, she explained. The two continued to talk for a while before Ian had to finish getting ready. I'll speak to you later, Hayami, and tell your mom I said hi, she said. Will do. Good luck, Ian. Hanging up, it was back to the old and boring writing process. But first, breakfast. She had a plan to make cinnamon rolls, scrambled eggs, and sausage for breakfast, because none of the bodyguards dared to do it. She walked to her closet and took out a white t-shirt, black jeans, and a white and black plaid jacket. To top things off, she combed her brown hair into a comfortable ponytail and put on ankle boots. After brushing her teeth, washing her face, putting deodorant on, and putting her clothes on, she walked out of the bedroom, feeling more fresh than ever. Hey, there she is! Two of Pegasus' bodyguards tackled Ian to the ground, pinning her there. What the hell? Hey! Someone please tell me what I did wrong. I can remediate it, she exclaimed. None of the men responded as Pegasus walked to her, putting his foot on her forehead. I thought I told you not to go outside during your bedtime, and yet you did the opposite. You're looking for Yugi Boy, aren't you? He asked. No, why would I want to look for him? Ian snapped. Because you may want to write about something that isn't my biography. I'm the most important one in this castle. I'm the one who deserves all the attention. You know what? Boys, bring the girl into the dining room. She needs to learn what happens when you take advantage of my hospitality. They say that actions have consequences, and although Ian had a visible hatred towards Pegasus and his rules, she had to learn them the hard way. The guards strapped her to her seat, leaving her arms free for her writing. They then tapped her book to her hand and her pencil to the other. You must stay all night long and write for Master Pegasus, one man demanded. He's given you a chance to shoot your shot at writing for more public presses. Are you trying to toy with his temper? Another asked. Pegasus, on the other hand, sat in his chair, arms crossed like a child panting. You're using the term in the wrong context. Shooting your shot refers to trying your hand at saying that you love someone. I'm not trying to... You're using the term in the wrong context. Shooting your shot refers to trying your hand at saying that you love someone. I'm not trying to write for the press, Ian explained. No one listened. Pegasus continued to monologue about his life as someone who just discovered dual monsters and how the idea inspired others around him. When creating the game, he took the original characters from the Egyptian hieroglyphics and made them more colorful and kid-friendly for some. What were they like at first? Ian asked. Dirty. You couldn't tell them apart from something a 7-year-old drew on a piece of yellow paper. And that's where the cartoon artist came into the picture, Pegasus said. That's when he stopped her. But they're not part of this picture, you see. This is about me. Remember, Ian, my child? Yeah, and don't call me your child. It's creepy. He didn't listen, brushing his hair off his shoulder. As Pegasus continued to speak, Ian wrote a part about artists coming to help draw the dual monster characters for the cards that will eventually be published. That same day at night, although she had faced harsh punishments for her actions, Ian poked her head outside her window. The fresh nighttime air always made her feel safe. With tears fresh from her punishments, She wiped them, jumping out the window. She landed in the bushes below, taking off for the cliffside. She needed comfort. She needed warmth, and for some reason, she needed Mako. As she ran, her legs burned. Ian breathed heavily as she ended up at the cliffside. Her eyes made note of the swordfish and angelfish sketches in the rocks as she dropped to her knees, trembling. Whoa, Ian! What happened to you? Mako came to her side, putting a hand on her shoulder. He gently massaged it as Ian explained through sobs that Pegasus had scolded and punished her for running out during the night. She told him about how they strapped her to a chair and refused to let her leave until the night time. She also mentioned how Pegasus had kicked her cheek, which explained the swelling mark on her left cheek. Oh God, I'm so sorry, Ian. Come here, let me hug you, Mako said, opening his arms. She had been seeking comfort in him since they met. She accepted the offer and hugged him tightly, sobbing uncontrollably. Mako frowned and patted her head, whispering reassuring things to her. Shh, you'll be okay, little angelfish. I'm right here. I'll be here when you need a shoulder to cry on, he whispered. Ian didn't pay attention to the angelfish nickname that had slipped out of his mouth. All that mattered was the comfort and reassurance that was shared between them. He brought her close, letting her cry on his shoulder. Poor thing, Mako thought. If only she had a choice whether to accept or deny Pegasus' offer. When Ian's tears became dry, she looked at Mako, her eyes puffy and red. She then quickly hid her face, mumbling about not liking it when people saw her cry. Oh, come on. You don't have to worry about someone else's opinion, he said, patting her head again. But I look weird. Don't care. Huh? Mako grinned, ruffling Ian's hair. I don't care if you think that. Do you remember what I said? I think you're beautiful, inside and out. My amazing and beautiful friend. And I don't want anyone to tell you otherwise. Not Pegasus, not anyone you come across that tries to make themselves seem superior. Now, why don't we stay away from that place for the night? I can take you to my little place to sleep, he said. Silence filled their surroundings. You have somewhere to sleep? Ian asked. Yep, follow me. So she did, following Mako along the cliffside as the water crashed along the rocks. As the two ventured into the woods, they came across a tent with a snuffed-out bonfire. This was left here by a previous duelist, or at least I think. It's the same tent Hayami was in, Ian exclaimed. Mako arched an eyebrow, turning to look at her. I'm sorry, who? Oh, Hayami is my friend from school. A smile tugged at his lips as they both went into the tent, sitting. This wasn't the way Ian wished her day would go, but at least she got to hang out with her friend again. So, anything else you know about that girl Hayami? Mako asked. She got eliminated not too long ago, Ian responded. He blinked. Silence was all there was for a few seconds before he spoke. That's rough. Yep, but she gave me her phone number so we could talk when I'm not writing. From that time until the middle of the night, Ian and Mako stayed under the cover of Hayami's makeshift tent, telling each other about the first time they began to duel. Whether it was determination from their family and village, or they were just passing by a game shop. Everyone had their own story, and some respected that person's story, giving in the time to sit and listen. And that's what Mako did whenever Ian had a story to tell. That's all for today, folks. But don't you guys worry. The next part will be coming to you very soon. If you guys are enjoying the story so far, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notification. Bell. See you guys next time. Goodbye for now, guys.